It's the Flow with Coach Ray Friday. Excuse me, I'm tongue-tied a little bit. I am blessed to be here with you today. Hope you've had a great week, and we got another opportunity to bless those that are in need of help. And we're talking sports today. We're talking life, and I am excited to get the ball rolling today. Hey, sights and sounds of this week in sports. We had Dirk Nowitzki retire here locally. 21 years in the league, man. He's done so much for this community here in Dallas. And I tell you what, he will be missed. He will be missed across the board. Dirk, from my heart, and everyone here, we appreciate you for what you've done for not only the city of Dallas, but the state of Texas, and everything that you represented on and off the court. You represented this city. Amazing, man. Amazing. I also want to give a shout out to D Wade. D Wade, man, I remember when you first came into the league in 2003, and I knew that you had an NBA game right away out of Marquette. I watched your Cinderella season in your junior year at Marquette when you took them far in the tournament, man, and I tell you what, I knew when you got into the league you were going to make an impact. But the beautiful thing that I get to see and hear often about you, Mr. Wade, is that your community effort is one that's unmatched, and the love that you've received is a direct reflection of the love that you've given out. So, D. Wade, I wish you the best. Thank you so much for using this game we call basketball to change so many people's lives. Your kids' lives and your mom's life and your family members' lives around you. You've done a tremendous job, and I look forward to seeing how you transition into the retired world. Hey, our job is still going on. You know, we never retired, D. Wade. So also, Virginia, man. Virginia pulled off the Cinderella season, coming back from last year being defeated in the first round as the number 1 seed to come back Monday night and win a championship. Unfortunately, it was over our Texas Tech Red Raiders here in Texas. Man, I know I got a lot of disappointed Red Raider fans, but at the same time, it was an amazing season in Lubbock, and I appreciate all the hard work. We'll break down that championship game later on when one of my 3 guests that are here today shows up. My first guest that's in studio, he's a legendary wrestler right out of Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. 18 years he's wrestled. 19 championship titles he's held. And with it being Bully Awareness Month, I think what he does now ties into what we got going on here at the Fishbowl Radio Network. My special guest, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce you to T-Ron Hicks, a.k.a. Simply Bad.
Hello, Coach. How are you? Thank you for this opportunity.
What up, big guy? How are you?
Simply fabulous.
Simply fabulous.
It's a great day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So when I got the opportunity, when I found out that it was Bully Awareness Month,
Okay.
and through mutual associates, colleagues,
Yes.
I got the word that, man, we got a local wrestler, a legendary wrestler here in Louisville.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I had to reach out to you. Thank you. So how did you get into wrestling?
Man, oh my gosh. Actually, I'm grateful that I was bullied because that's how I actually got into wrestling.
Wow.
And the story is, and it's the truth, that I was bullied by my 2 older brothers. And one Tuesday night when I was 7 years old, I had a chance to meet Rocky Soulman Johnson, who was the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes, sir.
And he told me, he said, if you have any dreams and goals, you write them down on the index card, and that's what you'll become. And so my 3 dreams at 7 years old, my 3 goals was stop being bullied by 13, be a successful pro wrestler, and after wrestling was done, stop bullying all over the world.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So the Rock's dad, Big Rock, Rocky Sr. Rocky Sr. gave you prized advice.
Yes.
If you have a dream,
Yes.
write it down on an index card.
Yes.
And why do you think he told you that, Coach?
Because it's something that he did, and I never forget. He was one of my favorites. He's still one of my favorites to this day, and I know the reason why he told me, because it's something that he did. But it is so true. In order to be the vision, you must see the vision. So in order for me to become no longer a victim of bullying, for me to become a successful pro wrestler, for me to be this champion against bullying that I am now. I had to see it at an early age, and that's where I'm at.
Wow. Wow, man. So he gave you that prize advice. Not everybody gets advice from a Hall of Famer.
Right.
You know, so you took that advice, wrote down your 3 goals on the index paper.
Yes.
And you were able to visualize it. You were able to visualize your dream. You know, ironically, I just had this conversation with one of my oldest daughter.
Okay.
And I shared with her, I said, hey, if you have a dream, you have a goal, write down your goals.
Yes.
Write down your dreams. Because as a parent, we always want our kids to do better than us, right?
Oh, no doubt.
And growing up, that was one of the weaknesses that I had, you know, writing down that vision.
Right.
Writing down that vision so you can see it on paper, and that way your actions can follow.
Yes.
So you were able to do that. And you jumped. Number one, you wanted to stop being bullied.
Yes.
By your older brothers.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I can relate to that.
Right.
You know, being the youngest, having 2 older brothers.
Man.
You know, what was that like?
Well, see, I actually had 3 older brothers, but there was 2 of them that were just, believe it or not, I called them chaos and pandemonium because that's what they put me through.
Chaos.
But being the youngest, because I'm the youngest of 5, and you know, it's always an experience. You know, I often hear, I got a cousin, and she said, well, they were making you tough. And I said, yeah, they were. I said, but no was no. And she said, I never looked at it that way.
100%.
She said, I never, and stop is stop. And she said, I never looked at it that way. And I said, yeah. I said, regardless of, you know, the toughness that you're trying to instill in me, stop is stop. You know, and so, and to the listeners, I do not hate them. As a matter of fact, we have a great relationship. We really do. I mean, as a matter of fact, one of them is actually in the hospital now battling cancer. But it's a they caught it in time. So he's healed. So he's healed, and I'm just gonna keep walking in that. But yeah, man, we get together Thanksgiving, and we just have fun. We eat. We joke about it, and then. You know, I actually had to show them some of my wrestling moves later on in life, and so now it's like, you know what, he ain't little no more.
Look at that. Look at that. So it's amazing that, you know, you took something, because a lot of our kids in this area, not just in this area, but across the world. A lot of our kids are dealing with bullying.
Yes.
In the classroom.
Yes.
In communities, in the home front,
yes.
On their respective teams that they play on,
yes.
sports teams that they play on. So you were able to take something that was happening to you, you turned it into something that motivated you.
Yes.
Number 1.
Yes.
Number 2, you followed that plan in action. And number 3, as a result of you following that plan in action, you were able to extend and have a career for 18 years.
Yes.
But now what are you doing, Coach?
So now what am I doing? And I love my job. I am, and just grateful to be it. I'm actually a champion against bullying. So what you spoke of our mutual friends, Bud Collier, who's down in Houston, and TK, who is actually my former agent. TK, we're going to sidetrack for just a second. 2007, TK was my agent.
Got you.
And so we were negotiating with TNA to bring me in right before I retired. And they wasn't coming off no money, and TK wasn't letting me go.
Got you.
So that's that. But so I go across the country, and I speak against bullying. And I share with the students and the bullies themselves what it has. But I also share with the victims. No, when you give people control, that's when they're able to bully you.
Yes.
You know, and we all hear small words. We all hear that, and you know, and I'm gonna be. We live in a softer society than we did growing up.
Yes, sir.
You know, and everything is, well, no, it's not. Well, we need to be able to give these kids a stern front and say, hey, this is what it is. And when I talk to the bullies, most of the response is, and it's gonna drive you crazy, is that they're jealous of what the victims have. You know, it's not even a matter of them. You know, it's the kids have them. I had one situation where the kid was just mad because the kid had a mom and dad that loved him.
Wow.
And so the bully was upset. He was jealous because he didn't have both parents.
And you know, that's not to cut you off, but
yes,
I wanted to ask you a question pertaining to that.
Okay.
Kids nowadays, you pointed out the kid was just angry.
Mm-hmm.
He was angry that he didn't have a mom and dad that loved him at home.
Yes.
Okay, and it's kind of a two-part question, but I'll just get to my first part of the question. What do you think the main source of influence is pertaining to where the bullying comes from? What triggers that bullying?
And this is just what we've been able to do with studies and working with several psychiatrists and working with counselors. Kids are not finding confidence and self-assurance in self. And when they don't find it within themselves, they go out and try to bully or manipulate someone else in order to find a strength that they can hold on to. And so that's what it is. And I truly believe that when we're able to actually not talk at a child, but talk to a child, they begin to listen and they begin to change their ways.
And you know what, Coach? You speak volume with that.
Yes.
And I have a teenager.
Okay.
I have a 12-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, and I coach numerous kids throughout the Metroplex. So
Yes.
I am a father and a coach of many.
Of many.
Okay, so I was talking to my 15-year-old the other day, this week.
Mm-hmm.
We were commuting from school, and I shared with her this. As a parent, we always want our kids to be better than us.
No doubt.
We always want our kids to be better than us. And one of the things that we do, we impart our own personal fears of their failure, of our failure, onto them.
Yes.
And I shared with my daughter. I said, here's the thing, one pertaining to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can dance. She loves to dance.
Okay.
She loves to dance.
Yes.
Okay. At 3 years old, she choreographed after watching 12 Dancing Princesses one time. She choreographed the whole ballerina scene.
Love it.
And I knew she was gifted then.
Yes.
So one of the things we talked about pertaining to dancing, and me being a coach, she plays basketball. One of the things I share with her, I don't have a problem with you dancing.
No.
I just projected my own personal fears on you.
Oh, yeah.
In that situation.
Yes.
And what I want you to understand that as your parent, in order for you to be better than me, because that's what I want. I want you to be better than me.
Yes.
You got to know what you're up against, what kind of things that I struggle with,
Yes.
what kind of battles that I struggle with.
Yes.
And I want to be able to help you do that, because parents across the globe, that's a commonality.
It is a commonality.
We don't want our kids to make the same mistakes that we do,
don't.
but how often do we open up?
Yes. And I'm so glad so keep going into that. I often tell my kids what you say. I don't need you to be me. I need you to be better than me.
Right.
Because of the fact that means I did my job. And I believe that the more us as parents, we do open up and then, say, hey, listen, this is what I did and it didn't work. And this is why I'm trying to tell you, hey, if you do it this way, I think because think about it. Most of the kids that we talk to are trying to get advice from the same age group. And those kids are still living in the same house as their parents.
Oh, yeah.
So they ain't been nowhere. And it's great. I have a friend, and I love you, Megan. She's like my little sister. She is my little sister from another mother. And Megan said to me, she said, it's easier for friends to tell you what you want to hear instead of hearing advice from parents that are going to tell you what you need to hear.
Gotcha.
She told me that 12 years ago.
Wow.
She told me that 12 years ago. She said, listen, it's easier for me to get a yes or amen from a friend of mine as opposed to get a no and you need to do this from a parent. And that has stuck with me because if you stop and think about it, kids will do that in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
And then they'll come back to you mad when they mess up.
And then when you ask them a question, they look at you like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I did not. But you know what? One of the things that we get the opportunity to experience is our relationship with God. Through our kids.
Yes.
Because that's what's helped me out as a father and as a coach.
As a coach.
It's just being able to understand. If I look at these kids like that, how does God look at me?
Wow.
If I reprimand them for a certain
yes
a task or something that they haven't accomplished,
yes.
What is God doing to me? He's going to do the same thing to me. So
yes.
It's taking growth and maturity to understand that I don't have to talk directly or talk down to that player or my kid.
Right.
What I can do is just talk to them authentically.
Yes.
And kids will pick up on that.
They will.
So to second part of the question, anger is one of the issues that a lot of our kids deal with.
Yes.
Would you think would you think the epidemic of fatherless homes or single-parent households, I won't say fatherless because we're not just going to single it out to that, but single-parent homes, would you think that contributes to some of the...
If I had to guess, and this is an educated guess, most of my problems are 85% of the children that come from a single-parent home. And that's not it's not a thought of, that's a fact. You know, when you have the children that are, because if you have a single-parent home, you have a parent that's working, so they're not always able to be with that child.
Right.
And then if they don't have any older siblings, so you got this child who's 14, 15, raising himself or herself because there's no other adult, other father figure or mother figure in the household, then you have a crisis because now the child is not bitter at the ones around him. It's bitter at the house and the way that they're able to take, able to take, you know, their frustrations out. Boom, is taken out on those that are around them. And it's a lot of times when I talk to the kids, and these are fourth graders, they're not really meaning to take it out on their classmate, but it's something that's aggravated them at home,
right? And
it's able to channel out on someone that just happened to be in the way that day.
So it's just that continued internal boiling.
Yes.
It's fuming. They're fuming inside.
No doubt.
In which they act it out.
Yes.
You know, I deal with that from time to time with some players of mine, and just in general, you know, being a product of a single parent home, you know, I can pinpoint it right away.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the things that I believe that as coaches, we have a greater opportunity to be able to see that in our kids.
Yes.
We need to look for that in our kids first and foremost, because if we can see the problem, we can meet the problem, and we can fix the problem.
Yes.
So what's the name of your organization, Coach?
Okay, so the bullying is SBOP, Stop Bullying, Our Purpose.
Okay.
And so
SBOP, that's SBOP for everyone.
SBOP.
Stop bullying on purpose.
Our purpose.
Our purpose.
Correct.
Okay.
And so if you go to simplybad.com, that's with 2 D's. Stay away from the Simply Bad with 1 D. I warned you. But listen, if you go to simplybad.com with 2 D's.
2 D's, not one.
Not one. You will have a list of our programs.
Yes, sir.
And how you can get in touch with us, and you can see where we've worked. And it wasn't until last night that I really figured out that we are really, really a champion against bullying. I forgot that we worked with some people in New Zealand and Australia.
Man.
And then we have, of course, we've invaded Florida so much, but we're going back. We've got Virginia on the plate this year. We're headed back to Ohio, Kentucky. And I love it. And I tell you the reason why I love it, because a lot of the kids that are hurting, they need to see that someone cares.
Yes, sir.
And when they find out someone cares, they begin to change. And I got an amazing story about this kid that in Scott City, Kansas. She had actually contemplated suicide.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, I got the call. It was September 14th of 2017. She had contemplated suicide because she was being a victim of bullying, and I told her, I said, this is what you got to do. You got to get up and tell yourself how amazing you are, how great you are, and how phenomenal you are, because you're a senior in high school. You don't want to go out like this. I said, I said, you are beautiful, you know, and if you've never had anyone tell you, you are. I said, but you got to tell yourself. And then another thing, you got to pray, and you got to believe that everything's going to be all right. The child is going to be a junior in college this year. So, and
look at that.
And I'm just ecstatic.
Give me some. Yes,
sir.
Got to reach across the
table. But yes, I'm so ecstatic because this child was going to give up. And I was like, you have to love self. And I know, biblically speaking, God first, others, and then me. But if I don't love myself a little bit, I can never really love God a lot.
100%.
And I can't really love others a lot.
You're right.
Because once you look in the mirror and see how incredible, how incredible you are, then you're able to share that love with others. And that is what, in my opinion, God first, of course, others second, then you. But make sure that you love yourself so you can share with others. I mean,
man, that's signed, sealed, and delivered. You know, so it starts with self-identity.
Yes.
Self-identity.
Yes.
You know, and then it transforms into actions outwardly of love. Right. So Everybody goes through something, Coach.
Yes.
Everybody's going through
Yeah.
it. Not just our kids, but adults too. You know, and one of the things that we battle as coaches with, particularly with when the kid is angry,
Yes.
when the kid feels like he's alone, when the kid is not understood, they tend to gravitate towards the gangs that they can find that what they're missing from.
Yes.
And we see a situation like what happened to Nipsey Hussle this past week or
Yes.
whatnot, or
Yes.
2 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago.
when he was gunned down
Yes.
by another product of anger.
Yes.
You know, we saw what he was able to do with his life,
Yes.
you know, and rise from poverty, even though he lived a gang-ridden life. He was able to use his abilities to get out and change the mentality,
Yes.
change the community, and pour back into the community.
Yes.
Now, we celebrate his life. We do.
Yeah.
We celebrate his life. But the violence that took his life,
Yes.
we have to fix that. And not just Nipsey, just locally. Unfortunately, just this past Wednesday, a 14-year-old young man, 8th grader. This is hard, Coach.
Okay.
This is hard. But 14-year-old young man, Reuben Washington.
Okay.
On Wednesday, he was gunned down. There's a $5,000 reward out. Crime Stoppers. He was gunned down right outside of Oak Cliff.
Okay.
His mom brought him home from school. School dismissed him early. Their investigation is still going on, but his mom left him at the house because she had to go back to work or whatnot. But 20 minutes later, she got the call. He got gunned down. He got gunned down about 15 feet or 15 yards from the breezeway in which he stands or lives. You know, and when I find out something like that, it makes me boil. It makes me boil because that's a young man. That's a young man that doesn't have the opportunity that we have. And celebrities are often praised. You know, when a situation like this occurs with celebrities, we're all about it. We're all about the not stop or stopping the violence or whatnot. But when it's happening in our backyard, you don't see that kind of passion, Coach.
Right.
So that's why I bring this up to reiterate. That's why programs such as yours, it's very important in not only locally, but around the country and worldwide. And you're able to do that, Coach.
Thank you.
You're able to do that. So I thank you so much for everything that you do. And also, we would like to, here at The Flow with Coach Ray, we would also like to send our condolences to the Washington family.
No doubt.
You know, as we continue to look for the culprit that took this young man's life, I want you, my listeners out there, just rally around this family in Dallas.
Yes.
Pray that the culprit comes to justice. You know, pray for these parents, this mom that's hurting, the school. No kid at school should have to draw a "We miss you" poster.
Nobody.
No kid at school. But unfortunately, our kids are doing that more and more.
Yes.
More and more. And with young men and women choosing to take their lives like it's a celebrated thing.
Yes.
We got to work it out for us, Coach.
Yes, you know, we do. And again, to reemphasize the condolences to the Washington family and even Nipsey's people and his fans, because that, I think what really bothers me the most is that the violence is unnecessary.
100%.
Totally unnecessary. And I've got a buddy of mine, and he reached out to me yesterday, and he was like, listen, it's time for us to man up and take control of our communities. Because, and I often say this, I can't expect the government to do anything if I'm not doing anything.
100%.
So if Simply's not out here, and I'll never forget, a few years ago, I started saying this. In order for me, Michael Jackson, rest in peace, man in the mirror, and if you want to make the world a better place, then you've got to change in order to see the change. And so, and you have to have a vision that this is going to be the greatest neighborhood in the world. We're going to turn it around, and you do that. It's crazy, but it's very doable. You know, I talk to 68 kids a week in Louisville on a weekly basis. when I'm not traveling. So I have my Game Changers mentor program, and these kids are incredible. I mean, I've got 3 kindergartners, 2 seniors. So, but my hands are full, but it's great.
Coach, is beautiful.
Thank you. It is. Thank you. And it's never a dull moment. That's why there's a thing called the gym, and you're able to work out any stress and tension. But I will tell you this: these kids often keep me aware and keep me young because of the fact of what they're going through.
Right.
You know, it's like, hey, Mr. Hicks, we got these tests coming up. We got this. And we are making it happen because the first thing that they have to do is they have to see themselves as a winner.
100%. And you know what's crazy this week?
Yeah.
This week, if you made it through this week, if you're a local parent here in the Metroplex, I salute you.
Yes.
Because on Monday, I know every parent with a student in school felt that heat, immediate pressure
Oh my gosh.
from the kids. Oh, I got to deal with STAR test. Oh, my gosh, I don't want to deal with it.
Yes.
All the pressure.
All the pressure.
And not just the kids, but the teachers too.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
we salute you, parents, and we salute you, teachers,
Yes,
and most importantly, kids. Thank you for believing in yourself.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, they have to go through that.
Right.
That's where programs like Simply Bad,
Yeah.
SBOP,
Yes, sir.
Game Changers,
Yes.
that's where you guys come in.
Right.
You know, as far as to reinstill that confidence, that value,
Yes.
that purpose in a young man and woman. Okay. And I beg to ask you, you got 100% energy in those little third and fourth graders, don't you?
I do. And like I said, it's never a dull moment. And because you never know what they're going to say, but a kid is very honest. So you better be ready for their honesty. Let me just say, you better be ready. I have one. Oh, I love Jeremiah. He's second grade, but Jeremiah makes me go to the gym hard on Monday and Thursdays because he's so, you know, I've known this child since he was a baby, and I told him, I said, you're going to be a Spitfire, and I'm telling you, what you say with your tongue, you better be ready. Because it does come true. Proverbs 18:21, life and death is spoken to the power of the tongue.
Yes, sir.
And I told him, I said, you're going to be a Spitfire. And guess what? He lived up to it.
He's a Spitfire now.
He's a Spitfire. But he's so incredible. He's so incredible. Super, super sharp. And he's one of those kids that knows everything. And he's not shy to let you know that he knows stuff.
Wow. Well, Jeremiah, keep giving Coach Hicks the run for his money. For those that are tuning in right now, this is Coach Ray with The Flow, heard only on Fishbowl Radio Network. I want to say hello to our listeners in Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, New Zealand.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
All across America. Thank you for tuning in. Yes. And, Coach, I have a listener, Sly.
Okay.
My listener, Sly, he wants to know something for his daughter. How do we help someone that's being bullied? And his daughter sends this question in.
Okay. So here's how, this is what I want to do. Number one, what type of bullying is it? Is it physical? Is it verbal? Is it cyber? So when you find out which one it is, you go to your child and you ask them, do they believe what you're saying about you? And they're going to say yes or no. Most of the time, it's going to be no. Then you find out if it's physical, you want to, if it's at school or if it's not at school, you want to meet with the parents of the bully because you want to be adults and nip it in the bud. If it's verbal, you want to meet with the school counselor and you want to have a non-interaction agreement if the two can't get along. Now, Coach, let me interject something. What I consider bullying is you make someone feel less than human.
Right.
And you keep doing that to the point where it's uncontrollable. And if you say stop and they don't, that's bullying.
Yes, sir.
But if you say stop, they stop, and you guys go back to joking.
That's playing around. Now, that's a firm understanding of that. So Sly mentioned that is verbal.
Okay,
verbal abuse.
So verbal abuse. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to instill, I call them the Fabulous Four. And because this is what I overcame it with it, because I had the self-confidence, I had the courage.
That's two.
Self-esteem. And last but not least, you got to have Zion faith. Zion faith. You got to have it. And so, because when you know that no one can, I mean, trust and believe, we get cut off every day, but I don't believe the number one that they're showing me. So then, number two, when courage is being able to do things even when you have fear, and we know that fear is things
false evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
So then we know that. So then you have to have the confidence. The same way you have that confidence when you're taking the test, that's the same way you have to overcome the struggle. And Zion Faith is really my favorite, is because of the fact that you have to believe that this is going to end when you say it's going to end, and it does. And then, but also, the listener wants to follow up with the counselor and hold them accountable. Hold them accountable because of the fact of here's the thing: when you send your child to school for 8 hours, that baby is that school's problem.
100%.
Problem, property, love, and everything.
Yes.
We can't help a child that's in school if they've never told us anything.
Yes.
You know, my mom used to say, I can't feed you if you don't tell me you're hungry.
A closed mouth does not get fed. I tell my basketball players that. If you're open, call for the ball.
Right.
Call for it.
Call for it. And so I totally believe that, because a lot of times, and what we've had to do, and this is what we've had to do, the quote-unquote bullies at school, we've actually called their parents with the child there in front of us and called their parents at work and asked them how we're going to handle this. And the bullying stopped.
Right then and there.
Right then and there. Because you uncalled mama at work. She can't get calls at work. And you costed her money. And you think she's going to keep buying you Jordans? Not happening, sir.
100%.
Yeah, so just don't be afraid. Put those four into your child. I'm telling you, when you have self-esteem, confidence, courage, and Zion Faith, no one can touch you.
No one.
No one. And then you also remember to speak out to the counselors, because the counselor is your first step with getting this solved, but also document everything. Write it down. Write it down the day that you had to go to talk to the counselor. Write down how many times your child has said something to you, because if it gets to a legal matter, you've got documentation, and the court has to accept that.
Wow. And you know what, Sly, I hope you got that. If not, I got it for you, brother. Yeah. I got it for you. But also, if it continues, let little mama know that she has an uncle here in Texas
that will visit.
And we'll go down there and put some figure 4 leg locks.
Put them in the
DDTs.
Bad dreams.
We got it. We got it covered if that doesn't work.
Right.
For those tuning in, I'm Coach Ray, your favorite crazy coach, and this is The Flow, heard only on Fishbowl Radio Network. My special guest, one of 3 today, is T-Ron Hicks, a.k.a. Simply Bad.
Hey there.
Hey, he's got a lot more information for you coming up. Right now, we got to pay the bills. We'll be right back with our second guest joining T-Ron right here. Don't go anywhere. We're live back on The Flow with Coach Ray. I'm your favorite crazy coach. It's Friday, April 12th. Man, I tell you what, it's a great day. I'm looking out the beautiful skies here, the beautiful window here at Six Flags. I look at it. Man, is that Superman over there, Coach? I think it is, Coach. I think Man. My daughters want me to get on that doggone ride. I get terrified, Coach.
I got on it one time and had cramps, and you know how like you didn't drink enough water that day? So I'm going to play Superman and get on Superman. But that was my kryptonite, because I cramped up like a little baby, and I trust and believe. The only thing I get up high on now is airplane, because I'm not messing with nothing with a ride that smacks you and beats you up like I used to do. Nothing. It ain't worth it.
I'll tell you what. So the voice you hear, that's legendary wrestler and local coach, T-Ron Hicks, a.k.a. Simply Bad. He's been in the studio this afternoon, just sharing. It's Bully Awareness Month, and we've been unpacking bags pertaining to some of the issues that our kids face in and throughout our country and just throughout the world. You know, my second special guest, man, I spoke on Monday night's loss by Texas Tech against Virginia. My next guest, he actually attended and played for Texas Tech.
Yes, sir.
After Texas Tech, he went on to play professional ball overseas, and he's back now as an entrepreneur using his talents blessing young men and women, mentoring young men and women, coaching young men and women, and he's a business owner as well.
Yes.
So, without further ado, it is my privilege and pleasure to introduce you, Fishbowl, to David Tairu.
Thank you, Coach, for having me.
What's up, Big D? How you doing, baby? What happened on the game, man?
Man, we was talking earlier. I think it was just a sense of urgency. We just, we never been on a big of a stage like that before. So,
Gotcha.
And it was just, I think that they were just starstruck. So,
And you know what? I know one of the craziest fans, Texas Tech Red Raider fans, and he made me. He said, Ray, you got to go for Texas Tech. And I said, man, you know I'm a Bruin fan. You know I'm a Bruin fan.
Yeah.
You know I'm a Bruin fan, and you know I rock with TCU too, okay? So I can't paint the city red.
Right.
But you know what? Texas pride.
Oh, yeah.
Texas pride.
Oh, yeah.
I stood with them. I'm screaming at the TV.
Okay.
Come on, man, come on. They were down by 10 points multiple times.
Yes.
And I'm saying to myself, as a coach, this is why I hate watching basketball live on TV.
Yes.
I hate it. Because you're screaming, you're yelling, make the adjustment. And the single adjustment that I really believe that cost Texas Tech the game, outside of being nervous, on the stage, stage fright, because that happens. Happened with me before I came to do the show.
Yeah.
You get your nervous boo-boos. Pre-game, you got to use the bathroom. It's mandatory.
Yes.
So, but they did not make the adjustment
Right.
on the number 0 for Virginia that could not score a jump shot. He couldn't hit a jump shot.
The little point guard.
Yes,
Yeah.
the point guard. And I'm screaming, Dave. I'm screaming. Pack the paint back off of him. Double.
Yep.
He's not a threat because if we go back to the replay of Hunter hitting a tying three-pointer to force it in overtime.
Right.
Mooney closed out on 0. I'm calling him Agent 0 because his name is irrelevant.
Right.
Because he didn't even score.
Right.
But Mooney closed out on Agent 0. Hunter was wide open for that three-point shot.
the corner. Yeah.
And that's awareness. I talked to my 17U group about basketball awareness.
Okay.
And why, in that situation, you got to know. It's IQ.
Oh, no doubt.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's still an amazing season, Coach.
Yeah. You learn from it.
Amazing season. And you know what? Did you play for Coach Bob Knight?
No, so I actually played for Pat Knight, Bob Knight's son.
Bob Knight's son.
Yes.
And man, what was it like playing for him? Because I'm going to tie this into Coach Hicks with what he's got going on pertaining to bullying. Because I know Bob Knight had the reputation of being the world's biggest bully on the court.
Well, Pat Knight didn't have that reputation that Bob Knight had with the aggressive coaching. Pat Knight was more laid back in a sense, where sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes that can be a bad thing. Sometimes some players, if you're too laid back as a coach, certain players, they won't give you their all because you give off that that relaxed aura.
Yes, sir.
So for us, we had a pretty good. My 2 years there, I was there from 2009 until 11. So my very first year at Tech, we went to the NIT, which was pretty cool. That was the biggest thing since 2006.
Yes, sir.
And then my senior year, we just we got ranked, and then we lost to New Mexico, and it's just a tough season. But at the end of the day, basketball and everything was great. I can honestly say while I was in Lubbock that I found my relationship with Christ.
Amen.
Which is the most important thing.
You found your purpose.
Yes.
You found your purpose, and you found your passion.
Yep.
Now, one of the things that Coach Hicks has been able to do with wrestling, his wrestling career, he's been able to transition into SBOP, his organization, Simply Bad. His also Simply Bad, 2 Ds, not one.
Not one.
SimplyBad.com.
Yes.
And also Game Changers. He's been able to transition everything that he's done in the ring into being able to pour into our young men and women in the Metroplex. And not just the Metroplex, but around the world. But, Coach, I just found out you're an author.
I'm a 2-time author working on book number 3. Oh, and you know what we didn't mention? And Bud's going to really kill me. That I'm actually a 5-time Hall of Famer. And so, but Coach D, listen, here's what you can't do. You cannot put everything on your resume because my wife says, yeah, they're not inviting you no more if you put all your stuff out. And I'm like, she says, you got to leave them some so when you
tidbits,
get some tidbits so you get there. But yeah, so God laid on my heart in 2012, and I would tell all the listeners, don't slow yourself down. When God gives you something, you have to run with it then, because if you don't, you're going to miss out. So 2014 came around. This gentleman, John, I was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, and he says, I need you. No, I won a humanitarian award that year. And he says, I need you to write a book on what you do. And I said, are you serious? I said, okay, well, listen, here's the name of the book. My inside is brighter than my outside. And so he was like, oh, my gosh, I love it. And so then we went to work on it. We went to work on this book. And so earlier when we spoke about the Fantastic Four, it's actually in that book. You know, there's pictures of me and The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, me and Jim Ross, and it actually shows the city in Louisville, Kentucky, where Louisville Gardens, where it all started, both as a fan and as a wrestler. You know, and that's always at that time, Louisville Gardens in the 70s, 80s was the South's version of Madison Square Gardens.
Wow. So
if you wrestled, if you played basketball in the Louisville Gardens, if you did anything in Louisville Gardens, you could go anywhere in the South and be a name. Just by saying I was at the Gardens. And that, you know, so it was crazy when I finally got to go back home and do my thing, and, you know, in 95 and then again in 98, because in 95 I was with the legendary team, the Rock and Roll Express.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were with them cats. And then, yes, and as a matter of fact, some of the wrestlers that you know that I know, like Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, we're both in the same Hall of Fame. You know, Tully Blanchard of the Four Horsemen and Iron Anderson, we're both we're in the same Hall of Fame. And so Bobo Brazil's son, so all of us are in the same Hall of Fame. And a small tidbit, Junkyard Dog's son got me into wrestling 26 years ago.
Shit.
Yes. He said, we know that you want to be in the wrestler. And so that's how JYD, we were in Nashville, and he was on like the tail end of his career and doing just independent shows. And he helped train me, him and Handsome Jimmy Valiant, and just Rated X, all of them. It's like that pot. It's like that pot of your mom's favorite soup, and she's throwing the beef and the taters and just everybody. So everybody's putting all their tidbits in, and it's like, this is what's going to happen for you. And the rest is history, man. 18 years. I love it. I loved every minute of it. And actually, I love my life. And Coach, we were talking about my brothers earlier about how they bullied me and how that was a situation. But everything you go through in life, God never said life was going to be easy. He never promised us that. Right. But he did promise us that he would always be there, and that if we believed in him, that things would come to pass and that things would be great. And so that's why I am just super stoked about life. A lot of kids ask me, well, Mr. Hicks, would you do anything different? Nothing. What? Nothing. What? Nothing. And they're just like, why? I said, why would I do something different?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what, Coach? The second title of your book is Let me get that book,
yeah.
Coach. Let me get that book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The first one is my inside is brighter than my outside, how I overcame bullying. Man, I tell you, Coach, I look forward to reading this book and just empowering young men and women.
Yes,
how
sir.
can we, before we go pay bills again, how can we find you big time?
All right, simplybad.com is what is anything on the website, where I'm at, what I'm doing. It's just everything about me is on there. And if you're on Facebook, T-Ron Hicks with 2 N's. Also Instagram, Simply Bad. Twitter, Simply Bad 13. So there you go. I mean, and no, I don't have a Snapchat because that's what them young people do, and I don't want to bust some of them.
Good. Well, you know what, Coach?
Yes,
I am thankful for you stopping by during the first half of the show.
Thank you.
I will upload all of your information for all the listeners out there.
Yes,
you will be able to find Coach Hicks, aka Simply Bad, the Hall of Famer. Let me just get that right. The Hall of Famer.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have everything uploaded on our YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
With our video, and also on the website to be able to, so listeners can find you.
Love it.
You know, I thank you so much. Before you go, can you stick around the second hour just for about 5 minutes? Because I know you wanted to share a memory of one of our local coaches here.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We got to go pay bills right quick. Second half of the show is coming right up. Don't go anywhere. We're back here on the flow. That is Nipsey Hussle. with dedication. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. I know the city of LA was mourning yesterday as Nipsey was laid to rest. His body was laid to rest at the Staples Center, and I love the fact that the city of LA rallied around a local hero that was impacting not just the local community but the entire world. Even through unfortunate circumstances, as far as his childhood growing up, he was able to take his childhood, turn it around, and impact the entire world. And that's what purpose is all about. You know, we go through our hardships in life. We struggle from time to time, but the key thing is believing in yourself, believing in your abilities, even when you are faced with opposition, sometimes from your very family, you know. But at the same time, we also want to, as we celebrate the life of Nipsey Hussle, I want to give Coach Hicks, a.k.a. Simply Bad, one of my guests here today, I want to give him an opportunity to share some words pertaining to local coach Fred Wilson, local coach and also Navy veteran. So shipmate, fly high, rest in peace, shipmate. But Coach Hicks, go ahead.
So on behalf of Flexing with Coach and Simply Bad Inc., to the families of the Wilson family, you know that we loved your husband. Fred was an incredible man, still is. His legacy will live. An amazing football coach. He, like yourself, Coach David, and myself, not only do we love our kids, but we love everybody's kid. You know, and he's that community guy for Louisville. When I say the city of Louisville, we're mourning, we're all hurting because of the fact it's like we lost one of our own children.
Yes, sir.
And I had the pleasure of meeting him when I first moved to Texas 15 years ago and didn't know for the longest time that I worked side by side with his father. Wow. Never knew it, but until he passed away. But when I say the children, they, you know, we often talk about sports, and it's the coach that the children go to that's going to get them to do what they need to do. Coach Fred was that guy. He made the boys practice. He loved on them. He chastised. But when I say he produced winners, he's produced winners. And so that is the legacy that the children are going to always live. That's the legacy I'm always going to live by. And that's what, you know, I tell his wife and the kids, just do that. When God's given you an incredible man, now you have an angel that will definitely be wherever you go. So,
amen.
So Coach Wilson, fly high. We love you. And just know, family, that we got you. And so many times people say, I got you. I'm talking about I'll see you in the next 2 months when things really, you know, when we have those summer months when he's out there conditioning them babies. So just know that we got you guys.
Hey, thank you, Coach. Thank you so much for your amazing words. You know, whenever we lose a valuable asset like Coach Wilson,
yes,
the coaching community, we feel it. The athletic community, we feel it.
Yes.
But I'm so thankful for men and women like yourself to rally around the Wilson family during this time in the entire city of Louisville. You know, and it's an amazing community that loves their very own. So we wish you the best here on the flow with Coach Ray.
Thank you,
you know,
Coach Ray.
You're always welcome back.
Yes.
Just don't put me in a headlock.
And next time I come back, we will get caught up. Next time I come back, we can talk about. By then, TLC has probably went past, and we can talk about that and what I believe SummerSlam is going to bring to both the wrestling community. But get ready, man. There's a new wrestling company. It's called AEW.
Yes, sir.
They are getting ready to give Vince a run for his money, and Vince, you know they are. And so when I say incredible, these dudes are incredible. It's, Chris Jericho.
Yes, sir.
And the Young Bucks. And so you got Bubba Ray Dudley helping him, and then you've got, it's just going to be an incredible ride. But WWE ain't falling by the wayside, trust and believe. Whenever you got Becky Lynch as your women's champion, and you know what we didn't even celebrate? We didn't even celebrate Kofi Kingston.
There you go.
We didn't celebrate. We're so busy to celebrate Kofi. I'm so sorry, bro. You know I simply loves you. But you had to be the first WWE champion. He has actually changed the complexity for wrestling for the rest of life.
Yes,
I mean, really he has, because it's just like when we had our first black president, changed the complexity of the world.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? Even though, and I'm not going to go political, but because I've got to go, but you understand this: out of every bad thing, something great comes out. And so you know, just a few months ago, I mean, people were hating Vince. Vince actually got a few life threats.
He really did.
He really did about this situation. And so, and I told him, I said, I know Vince. I've had the ability, to work. We've exchanged some works together because I've actually had some talent to go to the WWE to work for him.
Yes, sir.
So that sort of thing. But I know that Vince loves controversy. Vince loves money.
Yeah.
But Vince loves entertainment, and he also loves the fact that he's able to do something different than nobody else did. So, he set the bar high for this year. So whoever you are coming after him, be ready. You got to bring it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, guys, we love you guys. Thank you, Coach. Pleasure was all mine.
Thanks, big guy.
Thank you, brother.
Be easy out there, okay?
I promise I'll get to you soon. Have a great one.
And continuing on while Coach just put the microphone in the headlock. I tell you what, Coach, don't do him like that. Don't DDT the microphone. Continuing on, I got my man David Tairu.
Yes, sir.
Up in the building. Coach D, NBA season is over with. Mm-hmm. We got playoffs coming up. Who's your dark horse this year?
I mean, I haven't been able to watch a lot of NBA. I mean, I've been catching the tail end of the games and stuff like that. But I mean, my dark horse, I would for sure say, people better watch out for Denver.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to watch out for Denver, man. Those guys guard. They gave a couple times to Golden State a run for their money, and also, Milwaukee. Not a lot of people, people think, they know about Milwaukee through Giannis, but the team itself, man, that Milwaukee has is really good.
Solid.
Really good, man.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. You mentioned Denver. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see OKC.
Oh, yeah.
I really am, because I love Russell Westbrook and what he brings to the table, mm-hmm. and the fact that, I like to have an LA connection in the playoffs.
Right.
And he's my LA connection.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Russell and Paul George.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so for those that are listening in right now, this is Coach Ray with The Flow. Heard only on Fishbowl Radio Network. I have Texas Tech alumni David Tairu up in the building with me. Man, we were talking about the Red Raiders loss this past weekend, and also just preparing for the NBA playoffs. I'm surprised, Coach D, that Magic Johnson stepped down. We lost one leader already with Nipsey Hussle. Now we lost Magic. Magic just vacated the building.
Vacated, yeah.
And Magic, hey, come on now. Don't do my Lakers like that, baby. Don't do my Lakers.
I don't think that he'll be completely done.
Right.
I mean, I'm quite sure, 1,000% sure he's still going to be around doing something.
Yeah, he is.
For the Lakers.
Because he's Magic.
For the Lakers.
Right.
And
now, also, I want to introduce you guys to my third guest. It's a new segment, Who's on the Move? Weekly, I'll spotlight a young man or young woman of talent, an athlete that is on my radar for the next level. I get to get the chance to highlight one of the hardest workers that I've seen over the past 4 years in the Keller School District. He's a senior point guard heading to Southwestern University down in Austin. And this young man, when I tell you he embodies hard work, he embodies leadership on and off the court, and the young man's grades, he's got his grades too. He comes from a solid foundation as well. So that's key to success. But let me quit talking about him. Let him do talking to himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to senior guard Preston Hanna. What up, P?
What's up, Coach Ray?
How you doing, baby?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good, man. Thank you for being here. Were you nervous when I asked you to come on the show?
No, I like speaking. I think it's pretty fun.
Good. Why basketball, man? Why do you love basketball?
It's just from a young age. I mean, I'd always loved all sports. I played basketball, baseball, football, soccer. I loved it all. But basketball, I just started to fall in love with it whenever I played at recess in
Yes, sir.
5th and 6th grade, and I was just a lot better than all my friends at basketball. I mean, I was good at everything else, but I excelled in basketball, and it made me cool. All my friends were like, oh, man, he's good at basketball. So then I was like, I'm going to keep playing this.
So it gave you leverage.
Yeah.
You realized early on.
Yes, sir.
It gave you leverage. People gravitated towards you.
Yes, sir.
And man, as a result, you have a leadership about yourself. And I always share that with you. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank you for modeling that example of Christ on the court and off the court. But also, you got NBA baller, pro basketball player, Texas Tech representative right now. He's been there. He's been where you're trying to go. You got any questions for Coach David?
I'd like to know about the process. Like, how'd you get to where you wanted to go?
Man, it's a long process, man. I can just give you a brief synopsis about how my journey went. So I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and I played public school basketball at this school and right outside of D.C. called Crossland High School. It's in Maryland. And, I did well there, but, my school wasn't known for sports. So I went to prep school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, called Lutheran Christian Academy at the time, and did well there, and got a couple of looks from some schools, and then from there I went to junior college, and then from junior college I went to Texas Tech. So I mean it's a process, man.
Right.
You gonna have your ups and downs like in life in general, but the most important thing that my coach used to always say is just stay the course. Stay the course. Just if you have a goal in mind, just continue to keep going after it, man. But most importantly, man, with that goal that's in mind, keep Christ at the top. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And he's that lighthouse, as scriptures say, right? So the more that you look up to him, he's gonna light that path. So, but just stay the course, though, man. I mean, it's it's very tough, man. Me and you, we're 6 feet, 170 pounds.
Hey.
We gotta
get bigger.
You gotta,
Yes,
we gotta get bigger, but you gotta outwork your opponents, man.
And Coach D, that's something that you specify in athletic development or player development, correct?
Yeah, correct. We have from my experiences and stuff like that, man, I share all of my knowledge that I've learned from college and
Yes, sir.
professional to young kids. Something I didn't have. I mean, just learning the importance of proper footwork to have a good ball handle, or the proper stance on defense and stuff like that, man. So I'm really big on working with with people on that.
And for those that are interested in finding Coach David Tairu, you can find him in Capel at Pickup
Yes.
USA.
Yo, I'm partnered with with a friend of mine named Peter Mosley, and we opened up a basketball facility in Capel called Pickup USA Fitness.
Wow.
And basically, the major concentration of Pickup USA Fitness is pickup basketball with referees.
Pickup basketball
with referees.
with referees.
Right, and also basketball training. We have 2 shooting machines there. We have a full function weight room. We have a Vertimax.
Couple of Vertimaxes, yes.
A couple of Vertimaxes.
Indeed.
We have all of the basketballs there. So it's a basketball focused facility. Sometimes you go to LA Fitness, 24-hour Fitness, and those places are good, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can get inconsistent basketball.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
So because when I found out about your the company, I was like, pick up basketball with referees. I thought about that, but of course you get your pros and cons right away.
Right.
But in reality, pickup basketball is something that young men and women don't do regularly nowadays.
Right.
Preston, you can probably attest to this. If you go riding around your block in the neighborhood, how many kids you see outside playing ball?
I haven't seen anybody playing street ball in years.
Yeah. Look at that. And that's what, in a way, it's kind of hindered the creation and ideas or just being able to create that passion for yourself. That's one of the things that is hurting the game.
Yeah.
If you honestly ask me, but with UP, one of the things that just bouncing back from what Coach D shared with you about trusting the process.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity, thank God, this past week to sit down with an amazing athlete, Lou Rawls-Nairn Jr., a.k.a. Tum Tum, from Michigan State.
Okay.
And this young man, when I tell you, Preston, this young man, there's a reason why he's considered the greatest Michigan State athletic captain to ever go through the school. And he was able to share some of his story with me. And he actually is an author, purpose-driven. And I got a copy of his book for you.
Cool.
But just sharing with him, sharing experiences of life with him, he shared the importance of understanding everybody has a purpose. You got a purpose. You have a purpose. God has given you that purpose. One of the key statements that he shared with me, the story of Elizabeth and Mary, when Mary went to go visit Elizabeth in the Bible. This is the Bible that we're talking about. And Elizabeth was pregnant with John. How when Mary entered into Elizabeth's presence, John leapt inside of Elizabeth's belly. And he used that analogy to share with me the importance of understanding your purpose. Everybody has that purpose. We're filled with purpose. You understand? But we need to surround ourselves by people that make our purpose leap inside of our belly. You understand?
Yes,
and it's very, very difficult today. It's very difficult today to make sure that you're surrounded by those people that will do that.
Right.
However, if you keep yourself focused on God, keep yourself focused on God and continue to talk with him, he'll deliver those people around you. But most importantly, be the best representative that you can for him.
Yes, sir.
What's with I just want to get into your head right now. You're graduating in a couple of months. You're going away from mom and dad. First time, right?
Right.
Okay. So for all of my seniors out there, you are the representative for the senior class. Okay. What are some of the biggest fears that you have?
Honestly, just getting out on my own, providing for myself. I'm not going to have my mom to cook me dinner every night, stuff like that. I mean, I do a little bit around the house, but it's not like a whole lot. Like, I don't have my mom to depend on to do laundry for me, get groceries. So that's probably the biggest thing that comes to head right now. But at the same time, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to get ready for living on my own after college and just get a feel for what it's like being away from home.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, one of the things that I was able to catch you when you guys went to state, when RJ senior year, RJ Nimrod for TCU. Now, you've been able to see one of your friends, one of your peers, get a lot of playing time his freshman year. Has that weighed on your thought process as far as expectation going into your freshman year?
So, yeah, it actually has, because he actually ended up redshirting his freshman year. So I didn't – a lot of people think that's a bad thing, but I actually think it's smart.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of my friends at school is they were like, oh, man, he's redshirting. Like, what is he doing? Like, I was like, no, he's smart. He's getting 4 more years to play, to develop, to be even better than he would have been had he not redshirted.
Right.
So I'm not completely worried about the expectations for my freshman year. I've talked to the coaches at Southwestern, and they told me I'm going to be I have the potential to be a role player next year. I can get solid minutes, and they've got a lot of seniors that'll graduate my freshman year or after my freshman year. So then sophomore year, it's pretty much going to be on my class to step up and continue what they left off. So,
man, sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir.
So Coach D, getting back to when you were going into your freshman year, what was some of the things that helped you stay grounded?
To be honest with you, man, my relationship with Jesus Christ, I really relied, and I still do to this day, heavily. I really relied on prayer, man. I was really nervous. I was coming from Washington, D.C. all the way to Texas, And granted, I kind of already knew how to wash clothes and stuff like that. So it was a pretty, not trying to, there's nothing wrong with that. Right?
Hey, we calling shots.
Nah, ain't no shots.
Bang, bang.
Man. I'm just,
He's a Red Raider, bro.
I'm just saying, So, I had a pretty decent adjustment as far as, just trying to adjust to, I was in West Texas, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Levelland, right outside of Lubbock, so it was, yeah.
It was nothing out there, huh?
Nothing at all, which was great for me, man, because I can just focus on God and basketball.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Coming from I'm a city boy.
So you hear that, huh, Pete? You hear that?
Yes, sir.
So, it was really good for me, but, just staying in the gym, that helped too. Prayer and staying in the gym.
So prayer and staying in the gym.
Man.
Good.
It was good that nothing was out there, so I had to rely on,
Man.
prayer and basketball. So.
It's nuts. It's nuts, but we commonly hear, and I'll relate back to Nipsey Hussle. Okay, that's where my brain has been, because seeing him, the impact that he's had.
Right.
You always have to be a student of the game, student of basketball, student of life. And you got to learn from those that have gone before you. And that's the key thing that he did. He learned from those that have gone before him. That's like, if I want to be the greatest radio talk show person, I got to learn the game and study the Tom Joyners, just to name a few of the people. I got to learn and study Sylvia Martinez, Sammy G, the owner of Fishbowl Radio Network. We always have to be a student of the game. You understand? When it comes to you, how much time do you actually spend studying the game?
I'm in the gym every day.
Nice.
There's not a day that I don't go shoot, I don't go lift. Right now it's mainly lifting right now because followed by shooting right after lifting because I have a little bit of like a superstition. If I don't shoot right after I lift, I'll lose my touch or something like that. But even when I'm not at the gym, I'm chilling at home. I'm like on YouTube looking at highlights from NBA players that I like to follow, college players that I like to follow. I wouldn't say it's 24/7 because I mean it's not possible to 24/7 be studying the game, but as close to it as you can get. Like,
right.
I'm thinking basketball.
Right.
I'm in school, in class, the teacher's talking. I'm kind of starting to drift off thinking about basketball, and then I'm like, all right, I got to focus on this right now. Got to remind myself.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that on air. Okay, it's too late. He's graduating. He's done. Okay. Now what's crazy? What's crazy is, man, that you say that. The reason why I ask you is because it's a Mamba mentality. You know, a lot of our younger players, and we're going to get into that too, giving back to our younger players because you have a younger brother, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Mamba mentality, his academy, that is already opened up, Kobe Bryant. He stated that his kids will go to college just based off of the numbers theory. We spend AAU, we spend 4 hours a week in regular practice. Kids, outside of those practice days, the ones that want to be good don't necessarily spend time working on their game. And that's why I asked you, because young men and women look up to you, okay? What would you tell them that they need to do to get a scholarship?
I would tell them that what they're doing for their school practice, that's not enough every day. So like during the season, a lot of my friends would consider like the school practice in the morning, first period, that's their gym time for the day. But that's not even close to enough. You've got to be in, like that's your practice, that's a given. Everybody else is doing that. You got to do more than that. You've got to go to the gym that night too. You got to lift that night. You got to run that night. You got to stay in shape. You got to do other things other than what every other high school player in the country is doing.
Holy smokes. Coach D, I'm looking at Preston. I'm hearing everything. I'm hearing that feedback. Man, I tell you what, he seems like a person that you will build a program around.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that speaks volume. That speaks volume to you. Okay. What kind of advice would you give your little brother?
I would give him.
And what's your brother's name?
Parker.
Parker.
Yes,
Little Pete. Little Pete. We talking to you, Parker. You better be in class right now too.
I would tell him to just always keep in the back of the mind that he doesn't have things made out for him because he's going through the same school that I went to, and he's playing with the JV right now as an 8th grader. In the spring league right now, he's playing with the JV kids, and he's kind of getting his way. He's working that a little bit too, better than the other JV kids who are already in high school. And so I just would give him advice that don't settle. Like even though you're already like the top player for them, it's not made out. You got to keep improving every day. I would also give him the advice that defense is just as important as offense.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
He's a really incredible offensive player.
Yeah.
And in middle school, he kind of relaxed on defense because I mean he could get away with it. And then he would just excel in the offensive end to make up for it. But in high school, especially at Keller, we preach defense is just as important. Yeah. So he's not going to get by with relaxing on defense at all. So I would just tell him, focus on defense just as much as you do on offense.
Lil P, you hear that, right? You better focus on defense. Defense wins championships. And I tell Coach D and P, I tell the kids all the time, if you want to play, you better learn how to play defense.
Yep.
Because the coach will play you 24/7 if you can shut down the opposing player. That's crazy. It's crazy. Lil P, you better work on the defense. You hear your big brother telling you to do that. For those that are tuning in, I'm your favorite crazy coach, Coach Ray, and this is The Flow. My special guest this afternoon, T-Ron Hicks, a legendary wrestler, Simply Bad. Coach T-Ron Hicks, he was in earlier discussing Anti-Bully Awareness Month here on the Fishbowl Radio Network, and in studio right now, pro basketball player, businessman, new father as well. Yes. Mr. Coach David Tairu is in here with us, and also senior guard Preston Hanna from Keller High School. Preston is the recipient of Who's on the Move? Who's on the Move? He's on my players to watch list in the area. He's going to Southwestern University right outside of Austin this year. But Coach D, getting back to you, baby.
Okay.
Brand new father.
Yes.
Brand new. Get ready. Oh, my goodness. You better get ready. Okay, because I got to ask you this.
Okay.
Do you want your son to play basketball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%.
We're going to get him in the hoops. What are some of your biggest fears pertaining to coaching your kid?
I don't want my son I want him to keep me looking at me as a father.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't want him to, when I get on him a training, because I'm different I'm different from a father than from a coach, And I want him to be able to, my fear is that he probably won't be able to, distinguish the two.
Right.
And, that would really hurt me if he thinks that I'm mean to him.
Well,
because,
hey, guess what? Guess what? It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, right?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But you have the right mindset when it comes to your fears. And just project that. Don't necessarily project that at him, but share that with him so that he can understand. Why did Daddy get that vein on his forehead when I missed the free throw? Why did Daddy get his? Why did he turn up at me? Why did he get mad? Because you got to understand, Daddy's more passionate. It means something to Dad. Right. Because I speak from experience with my kids. Oh my goodness, man, I come unglued. But thank God for grace and maturation.
Yes.
Because I understand that I can't yell at them. They don't understand how much the game means to me. So, as a result, I had to break it down and unpack why the game means so much to me. So I was this weekend. AAU weekend just officially kicked in full effect this past weekend. And my 17U team, they finished 3-1 in tournament play. But I'm asking you, D, how do you deal with the victory hangover?
Well, I mean, my coach used to always tell me when I was young, he used to always say, when you're losing, you're winning. But when you're winning, you're losing. And so, what he would say, what he meant was, whenever you lose a game, you're winning because you need to you learn on things that you could have done to win the game, right? But if you're winning the game, you're content with that win, and then you won't work on the things that really need to be worked on, right? So I always had that mentality, man. As far as we win the game, it's okay. What's next? What did I do wrong? I could have, gave this one of my teammates this type of pass, or, I could have done this type of move. I just don't settle in that win. So, my coach also used to say, have a goldfish mentality, right? When you win the game, goldfish can only remember things for 3 seconds.
Shut the front door.
Yeah. So, man, I would always just be like, okay, goldfish mentality, man.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? I didn't know a goldfish had 3-second memory.
Yep.
But I love it.
Yep. Goldfish mentality.
Goldfish mentality. Man, I needed that early on in my life. Goldfish, you hear that, Pete?
Yes, sir.
Goldfish mentality.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pete, who's your favorite player?
Luka Doncic.
Luka. You patting your game after Luka?
I would love to.
Do it. Why not? Do it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Do it. Luka, if you're listening out there, I got a guard. He wants to pattern his game after you. Okay, you're going to make me look out to find Luka now. I'll find him. I'll go talk to him. I'll get him for you. Okay. Coach D, Cassie says hello.
Tell her say hello.
Look, Cassie, Coach D said hello. Okay. She's an amazing guard. I got a chance to spend some time with her, work with her over the break, and she reached out and said, "Hi, Coach D. Hi, Coach D." I love it. So what do you guys, just random. There are times when, as a basketball player, let's go to your playlist, okay? Because I know music is infused with basketball. Music is infused with sports, specifically hip-hop, the hip-hop culture, okay? So America is listening. What's in your Power 5 playlist? Music that you lean on that gets you out of the funk and back into the moment.
All right. I'll just go with 5 artists that I would just throw on a playlist.
Okay.
I'd probably go right now. I like Gunna.
Okay.
I like.
He's a rapper.
He's a
rapper.
Yeah.
Gunna.
Yeah. J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Probably throw in some Young Thug.
Young Thug.
Uh-huh.
He's another rapper, but he's old. He's not young. Young Thug, okay. Thugga thugga. That's what he says, right?
Yeah. Travis Scott.
Travis Scott out of Houston.
Uh-huh.
Astro World.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'd probably go Future for the last one.
Man, where are you growing up?
Keller, Texas.
You in Keller, Texas? In the suburbs. Hey, I told you hip hop was influential. Okay, suburbs in Keller. What about you, Coach?
Let's see, you might think I'm completely different, right? So, for me, man, when I was younger, I battled with a lot of ADHD, right? Real hyper, stuff like that. So I used to listen. I still do to this day when I'm playing. Before I play, I listen to a lot of Mozart.
Mozart?
Yeah.
I love it.
I listen to Mozart and R&B, man.
Mozart and R&B.
Yeah, because, it gets me calm. You know, if I listen to rap or any type of,
You're ready to go get it.
you just get too hype.
I love it.
I don't like to be too hype. I like to just be level-headed. So I listen to put some Mozart in and,
Man.
and just go out there and get going.
Hey, it's nothing wrong with that. I did a music study class one particular semester, and I got to study Mozart. Mozart, Beethoven, Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yep.
One of the few men to be given the title genius. Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach. What he could do with a harpsichord, bro. You think Kanye West is bad? Bach, bro, Bach. Man, but I ask that because very rarely we got to be able to give back to the young men and women about the importance of mind strength. Because the minute that we lose that focusness. The minute we lose that focus based off of anger, boom, we're gone. We're gone. And that's one of the main things that I want to mention with you. You're a young man on your path right now. If things don't go your way, understand this. Everything is a part of the process. Everything is a part of the process. And P stands for process. So understand that. Mind strength, you gotta keep your foundation solid. Okay, everything else will follow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, keep your effort up, your energy, your effort. Call your mama and daddy from time to time, but keep God first. Okay, when you get on that campus, run for Him, and run for Him, and watch what happens.
Yes, sir.
Man, I look forward to seeing you, kid. I really look forward to seeing you doing very well.
Yes, sir.
Okay? It's not an accident that you're sitting down, Pete. All right? You're getting on my nerves, you knucklehead. But it's all good. Hey, I was waiting for Coach Aaron from Minnesota, our representative from Minnesota, to call in and give us feedback from the culture of Minnesota this past week. It was nuts. He was able to provide Final Four feedback the past 2 weeks, and unfortunately, I guess he didn't pay his bills because he ain't calling in. It's all good. But Coach Aaron, you're fired. You're fired. I don't need you anymore. Coach D, craziest thing that happened to you while playing?
While playing? Professional or college?
Both.
Man.
I mean, because, we didn't have social media
right.
back then. We didn't have the Snappy Chattel.
I mean, I'm not that old, man.
Look, I'm giving my age away. Yeah, you guys did 2009 and 2011.
Yeah. So
awkward.
Probably in college, I would say we played at the University of New Mexico. I have another one too for my professional career. We played at New Mexico University, and it's this famous guy, famous fan for New Mexico. His name is Snake. He's passed out, right? I mean, he's passed away right now. God rest his soul. But
rest in peace, Snake. You created some pain for some folks.
I remember at the free throw line, and if anybody played in the pit, man, it's like the stands is like really close to the court. Right?
Yes, sir.
So right under the basket, Snake. His name is Snake's tattoos everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, he was a Latin American gentleman.
Gotcha.
Just stood there. And he looked at me stone cold in my eyes while I shot a free throw. And I couldn't help but to look at him because everybody behind him, the student section, was going crazy. And he just stood there with his arms folded like this.
And you looked right at him.
And I looked right at him. And I can hear him, which was so crazy. Because everybody was just, ah. And he just said, you make that free throw, I'm coming for you. That's what he told me.
Shut the front door. Shut the front door.
So scared.
Did you make the free throw?
I made one and missed the other.
I can't.
It's crazy because I was like,
What?
out of all those people, man, everybody screaming and stuff. I heard him, I heard him. He said, "You make that free throw, I'm coming for you." His arms crossed. So
Holy moly.
that's in
donut.
college, right?
But that's crazy because I heard about Marcus Smart. I actually saw it.
Yeah.
The Marcus Smart situation. And then just this year, Russell Westbrook getting into it with a fan.
Yeah.
So to be able to hear firsthand of the experience is nuts because that's one of the things that we got to get into, player protection.
Yeah.
Because fans out there, what are you bullying for? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You don't play the game. Something like that, Snake, you better.
No, but Snake was a good.
Snake.
He was a good guy, though, man.
Rest in peace.
Everybody knew him. Like, that's just how he is.
Gotcha.
He's just a fan of the game. And then
You missed a free throw though, bro.
I know. I know. That's
Yeah.
But another one in college, I will say, we played against Texas A&M at A&M,
Gig 'em.
and somebody had posted my phone number. I went to the free throw line. True story. I went to the free throw line. They held up a little fan board. My phone number was on.
I love it. Did you get blown up that night?
Yeah, I made both of my free throws though.
Good job.
It was just crazy.
Good job. So, Pete, you got some crazy, crazy fans you about to deal with, dude. Okay, that's nuts, man. Whoa. He gave your phone number out.
I just held my phone number there.
Held it up.
Just said, David.
You make the free throws?
Yeah, I made both of them. This
Okay.
time.
Good. And what's the craziest thing that happened as a pro? Because you went overseas, correct?
Yeah. By the grace of God, I was able to play overseas. I was in Greece. I want to say that was my third year overseas. I was in Greece, and fans over there are nonstop. You can be losing by 20 or winning by 20. The arena is still loud. Nobody's sitting down. Everybody's blowing whistles and hitting on drums. But we played against this team in Athens, and Smush Parker was actually on the team.
Yeah?
Yeah, the old point guard for the
Oh, I know
Lakers.
Smush.
And we played, and they went on a run. And the next thing you know, you just hear a loud noise. Boom! Dudes is lighting the trash cans on fire.
Shut the front door.
But it was regular. It was just like, the fans just stayed there. They just like trash cans on the fire in the middle of the game. In the middle of the daggone game.
And y'all just kept playing.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, we had no choice. I'm looking. I'm like, what's going on? I had the ball, and they telling me, hey, come on, keep playing. I didn't know whether to throw the ball away or run out the
Duck
field.
and run. You know that, P, that's what we do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We hear loud bang.
Yeah, you hear loud bangs.
Right.
It's time to go. So
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm thankful that you're able to share that experience with Preston because a lot of our athletes don't understand that they're able to expand their horizons overseas.
Right.
2 weeks ago we were able to have FIBA coach Larry Daniels in, and he expressed how just going overseas, he never thought that basketball would take him overseas and how that expanded his horizons and made him the person that he is today. So the reason why I share this with you, if you don't make it to the league, you got an opportunity to go overseas.
Yes, sir.
But also understand that basketball has tremendous avenues in which you can give back. I got to give a shout out to my guy Tim Martin, who's over in Cameroon right now, teaching the game. He was over in Italy prior to that, and he does tremendous player development in and around not just the Metroplex, but across the world.
He's a good
and
dude.
he's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Good dude. Coach Tim, we got to get you into the flow with Coach Ray. I know he's listening. Okay. I was actually just waiting for him to respond back. Who does that? This guy here. So biggest fears, we've gone over that. Bullying, we've touched that topic. Okay. Spirituality. How important is that with you, Preston?
It's my top priority.
Top priority?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good. You ever struggle with it?
No, sir. I mean, my grandfather was a pastor. Grew up in the church my whole life. So, I mean, I've never really struggled with it much at all. I mean, it's always been God, family, school, basketball.
Good.
Yes, sir.
So what kind of advice would you give a young man or woman that is struggling on their walk?
I'd probably say, look, this like life right now is not the it's not the end all be all. It's afterlife which is like eternal. Like, so I would say, like, why not? If even if it's not true, say, like, even if it wasn't, why not just have faith in God right now so that you get eternal life in heaven when you die? Or risk? Why would you risk, even if it's true? Like, why would you risk going to not heaven?
I put you on the spot, didn't I?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because we in our faith walk, we got to be able to lead by example. You know, I struggle big time. Mm-hmm. I fall down flat on my face every day. I struggle and I fall. Mm-hmm. But the key thing is getting back on that horse and riding. You know, one of the things that it's just like basketball. You know, you stumble, keep that relationship going. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I've picked up over the years pertaining to just mental stability. You know, when we put our hopes in our own abilities, we fall flat on our face. That's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you. You know, mm-hmm. But when we place our hope in what God has for us and we run after it, no matter what, continuously, even through the falls, we'll reach that and we'll be the person that He's called us to be. You know, it's crazy that athletes nowadays, you know, we have a platform. We have a platform big time, and we got to use that to emphasize and impact as many young men and women that we can. Question for UP. Going back to looking back on your 4 years mm-hmm. of high school, what were some of the most influential pieces of advice that were given to you from your coaches?
Most influential pieces of advice I'd probably have to agree with, use the goldfish mentality thing. That's not the exact term he used. He just said, have short-term memory is what he used to say. Mm-hmm. Your mistakes that you made in each game, like, as soon as you make it, you got to forget it. You got to keep playing. And I've really thought about that and had that in my mind as I play. So anytime I make a mistake, I'm not like, dang, I'm like, let's go to the next play, you know? And so it's just being resilient and being persistent, never quitting, never giving up. You're down 15 with 7 minutes left in the game or whatever, you're still playing as hard as you can. Mm-hmm. I was taught, like, by the coaches at Keller that when you're down 30, you should be playing as hard as you are when you're down 1. It doesn't matter the score of the game, you're always going to give it your all.
I love it, man.
And that's how I look at life too. Yeah. Not just basketball.
Any thanks or any you want to spotlight your coaches, say anything, any kind of words of encouragement, your teachers, whoever at Keller High School that helped you become mm-hmm. P. Hannah?
Mm-hmm. Coach Durant, Coach Speaks, and Coach Keller. Those are 3 coaches at Keller. And those guys really taught me how to play basketball the right way. I wouldn't be the player that I am today without them. They taught me to be fundamentally sound. Mm-hmm. And they instilled the defensive mindset that I have, and I'm, like, so thankful for that. The charge is my favorite play, thanks to them.
Take that charge, baby. Yeah. Take that charge.
So yeah, I just was like, I'm so thankful for them for showing me basketball the right way.
Man, look, coaches, you've done a great job. A lot of times we don't get to see the fruit of our work, and Mr. Hannah, he thanks you big time. Coach D.
Yes, sir.
Who helped you get to where you are right now?
There's a guy named Derek Bracey, and back in Washington, D.C., man, who taught me everything about the game of basketball and life. He made it simple for me to understand and get better, and he also used the analogy of basketball with life for me, which helped me out a lot. You know, so Derek Bracey, man, Coach D. That's what we really call him. He helped me out, and also my junior college coach, Coach Steve Green from South Plains Community College. I went there before I went to Texas Tech, and he helped me out a lot, like so much, man. He just he was really hard on me, which was what I needed, man. But he was hard on me with love.
Wait a minute. You had a coach that was hard on you. Did that hurt you by any chance, or did it help you, Coach?
It helped me.
It helped you.
Yeah, big time.
You know, I got a chance when I came up, for those that are tuning in, I'm talking right now with Coach David Tairu, Pickup USA in Capel.
Yes, sir.
Former Texas Tech Red Raider, and also former pro basketball player, European pro basketball player. And also the first segment of Who's on the Move, my special guest is senior guard Preston Hannah of Keller High School, for those that are tuning in. So, Dave, when I came to your place, I got a chance to sit down with Adrian Palacio. Okay. You know, Adrian went to school in Arizona.
Okay.
One of the things that when I got the chance to talk with him, I was very thankful for Pickup USA Capel because you guys provide a facility for someone like Adrian to be able to come in during the waiting period between whether he's going to go pro or not. Just to be able to him come in, receive that professional training, one-on-one development, and just be held accountable continuously. I wanted to share that with you, and I just say thank you, man. Thank you for being a vehicle for young men and women and parents and adults for mankind to be able to come in and pursue their passions. Because I know AP, he's very appreciative. We got to get him up in here. Adrian, I know you're listening. We're going to get you up in here, big boy. We're going to get you up in here. So, Coach Dave, thanks for everything, man. You guys are kicking butt over there. I definitely got to get my jump shot and get my Vertimax on because when you get old, P, I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm up there. Okay, if you don't take care of your body, baby,
oh yeah,
it goes.
Yes,
it goes.
I'm feeling it.
Physically, mentally, and spiritually. Take care of yourself, kid.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Preston is my senior that I'm recognizing on as Who's on the Move in the not just the Metroplex, but around the world, around the country. I'm everywhere, bro. I'm trying to spotlight all the kids. We want to spotlight all the athletes. You play, you do the right thing, I want to spotlight you. Now, in order to be recognized as one of my Who's on the Move list, what I need for you to do, email me your GPA, snapshot of your playing profile, playing career, any kind of charitable acts that you are involved in. I need you to email everything to theflowwithcoachray@gmail.com. Theflowwithcoachray, and this subject Who's on the Move nomination. Okay, Who's on the Move? I want to spotlight young men and women just like Angelina Robles out of San Diego. She's a starting point guard. Her freshman year for the Bishops of La Jolla, California, she averaged 17 points, 3 assists, 3 steals as a freshman. Her AAU team is EBO. They'll be here for the Gauntlet, Adidas Gauntlet, April 26th through the 28th. So I got to get her up in here. She's coming in from San Diego, freshman guard. She's an amazing young lady. Her dad is a chief in the Navy, J.J. Robles, senior chief in the Navy, and I got an opportunity to play with him when I was in the Navy.
Nice.
You know, so I'm looking out for those that are kicking butt, taking names, just like another young man here, Chase Kennedy. Chase Kennedy, he's about 6'2", and Chase goes to Episcopal in Dallas Episcopal School of Boys. And Chase, his freshman year, he averaged 10 points, 8 rebounds. He got the improved his offensive game, got the defensive player of the year for the team. His GPA is a 3.0. But this is what stands out with Chase. Okay, he was awarded youth leadership for male mentoring ministry in his church. He was a member of the top teams in America. He's a member of top teams in America. He's also a part of the Young Men's Service League and also a part of the Omega Sparks youth organization. He made the Spanish Club, and he's also a part of the Black Student Union. So he's up there kicking butt and taking names. He also plays for Drive Nation North, and this kid, Coach, when I tell you this young man has his act together.
Can play. That's good.
You are hearing me, America. Chase Kennedy, up-and-coming stud here in the local Metroplex. Okay. Also, my in-studio guest, Preston. That's Parker Lil P, his younger brother. Preston Hannah. P, how many points you averaged? Before I even, just don't let me speak for you. You speak for yourself. Give me that stat line, baby.
This season, I finished averaging 13 points per game.
13 a game.
Yes, sir.
Assists, what those assists look like?
I think it was about 5 assists per game.
5 assists, okay.
Yes,
Steal game.
Steals?
Yeah.
2.5.
2.5. 2.5. We don't round that up. You might as well say 3. Okay. Now it takes hard work to get average 3 steals a game.
Oh yeah.
Help a brother out.
Oh yeah.
How can I do that, P? And I'm not talking on NBA 2K. How can I step my game up? How can I step my game up to average 3 steals a game?
The main thing is playing defense with your feet, not your hands.
Oh.
That's what I came to learn.
Move your feet.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay. What else? You got to move your feet.
No. You know what I meant.
Oh, I know. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
My players out there.
Okay.
My players out there. It's satire. You got to move your feet on defense. What else, P?
Just getting to know the passing lanes, reading players' eyes, learning the plays that they run on offense. You can jump. I learned like rival schools that I've played over the last 4 years. I started to memorize their plays that they would run, so I would know which passing lanes to jump.
Oh, he studied film.
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
And then just my mentality is block or charge. You're not gonna go past me. If you're gonna drive, it's either gonna be a block or I'm gonna take a charge on you.
Look at that.
And that was the most useful thing I had this season. I finished the season with I think 34 charges.
Oh nice.
Look at that. He sacrificed his body for the team. What? Man. P, thank you for giving me those secret skills that I need, those secret keys that I need to step my defensive game up.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to go work on that.
Okay.
Coach D, thank you for coming in, joining us, blessing the world with your basketball IQ, just sharing your stories. We're not done, Coach. We got to get you back up in here. And P, we got to get you back up in here before you go off to college.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
Unfortunately, that's our time for the day. I want to thank all of my listeners for joining in today. I want to thank my special guest, T. Ron Hicks, legendary wrestler, a.k.a. Simply Bad. He's a bad man. Professional basketball player and business owner, David Tairu of Pickup USA Capel, and he's a Texas Tech Red Raider. So, Josh, he's my first Red Raider that made it in. Sucker. And also, last but not least, my senior guard representing Who's on the Move, the Flow with Coach Ray's Who's on the Move team. He's my senior point guard heading down to Southwestern University. Parker, I did it again just to make sure you were alert. Preston, Hannah, everybody, I thank you for coming in.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hey, make sure you tune in next Friday. It's Good Friday. We're going to unpack some bags. You never know who jumps in with the Fishbowl with Coach Ray. Until then, I love you all. Have a great day.